Okay, here's 14.2, number 10. And once again, it's a limit question on a multivariable function. In this case, it's a rather complex function. And we're looking to see as xy approaches 1, 0, whether this has a limit. Once again, direct substitution doesn't work. We end up with 0 over 0. And so I'd have to look to simplify. And while no, there's no way this is going to factor and have anything cancel. So I'm going to try approaching it from 3 directions. So first, when x equals 0, that means approaching it along the y-axis. Or excuse me, not x equals 0. In this case, we're going to approach it along x equals 1, because that's the y direction we'd approach it on. So when x equals 1, we're basically approaching it from the y direction, but along the line x equals 1 instead of the x-axis. Okay, this will be 0, this will be 0, so it'll be 0 over y squared. So it's the limit as y approaches 0 of 0 over y squared. And of course that's equal to 0. Well, let's try it with y. So y equals 0, we'll be approaching it along the x direction. And of course, when y is equal to 0, the numerator's fine just as is, only this guy turns into 0. So it becomes the limit as x approaches 1 of x minus 1 quantity squared, ln of x divided by x minus 1 quantity squared. Of course, these cancel, so I end up with just the ln of x. And of course, as x approaches 1, the ln of x approaches 0, so this would equal 0. So far so good. I have that it approached 0 when x was equal to 1, and it approaches 0 when y is equal to 0. The only third option along this one would be along the line y equals x. And let's see what this turns out to be when y equals x. I'm going to go ahead and change the y into an x, because that's an easier one. So we'll once again be evaluating the limit as x approaches 1 of this function. It'll be x minus 1 quantity squared ln of x divided by x minus 1 quantity squared plus x squared. And of course, if we look at that, the numerator is going to turn into 0. The denominator, though, is going to turn into 0 plus 1. So that's evaluatable, and that is indeed a limit of 0. So approach from 3 different directions. It produced 0 in each one of the 3. Once again, I don't see any reason to doubt that the limit of this one is 0.